Right, I've tried to record this video. This is the sixth time that I'm trying to record this. It feels like a YouTube apology video because I'm trying to balance the right amount of emotion that is with this subject, but also it's not how I want to make the video. Not right now, at least. I made a promise to myself this season that I was going to treat it a little differently. After seeing what happened last year, the terrible first 6 months of the season, seeing the tiredness in Jurgen Klopp's eyes, the team slowing down, the midfield getting retirement age, I realised that perhaps what had happened in the past I had taken slightly for granted. And look, it's not the end of the world to miss out on Champions League football. We came fifth. That's a great finishing point for a lot of clubs. But the reason missing out on Champions League football feels like the end of the world was because Jurgen Klopp brought us to the top of the world. The success that has been brought to this football club over the last 9 years was unimaginable in 2015 when he first arrived. And the problem is, the problem that comes with success is you don't win a Premier League. You don't win a sixth Champions League after just one match. You win these things over the course of 7-8 months. And when the success almost spans across that amount of time, and you're on this journey of hoping that you reach these what felt like impossible goals, but they felt impossible but reachable. The problem that you find yourself in, you become so attached, to the destination that you don't enjoy the journey, and it's very cheesy, it's very stereotypical, right? But it's true. That's the reason that people say it, is because it's true. And when your team is so good, and as Liverpool fans, we're so lucky to say that for a long time, Liverpool Football Club were the best team on the planet. When you're lucky enough to say that, you fall into the trap of just win after win after win, goal after goal. Your team is so dominant with so much flair, excitement, passion, and energy. You take it for granted. You take the style of football for granted, the goals for granted. You expect results. And then when you reach the top of the mountain, and all of those emotions come flooding in and you feel so happy, so relieved, you did it. A year later, you look back on those moments, and not only do you so desperately want them back, but you realize you don't just want that night where you want the Champions League. You don't just want the night where Chelsea beat Man City and you won the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. You don't just want that night back. You want the football back. You want the era back. You want that season to live it again. So when I saw what the team looked like at the end of last season, or sort of 75% through last season, it felt like the era had come to an end. And what Klopp did, and what he always seems to do, is build again. And he tweaked some things. In the summer, a midfield rebuild. Van Dijk became the captain. Trent became the vice captain. And suddenly it felt like we were on that upwards trajectory once again. And I saw that. I saw that this team looked different. It looked new, and we were calling it Liverpool 2.0. And I made a promise to myself that I wasn't just going to focus on these impossible but reachable goals of winning the Premier League or reaching an FA Cup final. I wanted to live every moment, every goal, every press conference, every player interview, all of the analysis I could find, watch every moment of it and take it in. Because I didn't want to have that niggling feeling that I felt at the end of last season, that I couldn't relive the success again. And the problem is I'm a lot younger than a lot of other Liverpool fans, especially online and the pundits. You know, there's younger Liverpool fans than me. I'm not 4 years old. But the problem is Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool is the only era I've ever known. I've seen other managers come and go, but as a period of time, a dominance that Jurgen Klopp has brought to Liverpool, that's all I've ever known. And that fed a little bit in to not quite fully comprehending how on top of the world we really were. So when at the start of the season, it felt like we could climb that mountain again, I wanted to climb every step of the way as closely as I could. But the problem is now, that end of an era has a date now. What felt like had been pushed back to the back of our minds with Klopp rejuvenated. No, the era comes to an end at the end of June. And I have to stick to the promise that I made myself at the beginning of the season. And hopefully it can be a sort of mindset that a lot of Liverpool fans now fall into. And it's appreciate what we have now, live the moment now, because right now Jurgen Klopp is the manager of Liverpool Football Club. And that's the best thing we can possibly say. And right now, we have a Premier League to win. We have a Carabao Cup to win. We have an FA Cup to win. And just maybe at the end of the season, to round off this journey, this 9 years, the one trophy that has eluded Klopp his entire time at Liverpool, the trophy that was snatched from him by Sevilla in his first season, we have an opportunity to finish the journey where it started and win the Europa League. And I ain't getting to perhaps that moment and having that same niggling feeling again. So that sad, nostalgic, reminiscent video that I feel a lot of people may be making or tweeting or whatever, I'll be part of that later down the line. That video will come and it'll probably be a lot sadder than this one, but it's not the video I want to make now, because I'm so excited for the rest of the season. I'm so excited for the Norwich game on the weekend. I'm even more excited for that Chelsea game where we can make a massive statement in the Premier League, and the Arsenal game might just turn the tide on the title hopes. It will be a massive statement to go away to the Emirates and beat them and make it a 2-horse race with City, and to fight with City, the team that has been side by side with Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, to pip them to a title. Jurgen Klopp being the only manager to beat Pep Guardiola twice to a league title. It feels poetic. It feels like a world-class documentary making level of sports cinema. It feels right, and I cannot wait for all of it. Now, to round off this video, I just want to touch on some of the things that I've seen online, maybe mainly from fans that aren't Liverpool supporters. I think a lot of people are perhaps questioning the decision. Is there something more to it? Has something happened behind the scenes that we don't know? Why has it come out now? You know, the timing of it seems strange, and it's certainly shocking. It has ruined my week. Um, and I didn't realize it was possible to feel like this about sport when you haven't actually lost anything yet. Everything at the club is exactly the same today as it was yesterday. We haven't lost a final. We haven't been knocked out of a competition. We haven't lost a player through injury. But yeah, I feel almost worse than any of those things have ever made me feel. But where was I? Well, so a lot of people are questioning the decision, and I think if you haven't already, watch the interview that Klopp gave, and you have to understand that that is the most honest you're ever going to see a manager. Like, listen to the words he's saying. It's clear that he is sort of fighting with this inner, just absolute devastation that he has to leave, but an acceptance that it's the right thing to do. And he wants to say it now. Probably a little part of him does want to galvanize the team, that it can push this team to success, but mainly out of respect for the fans and the club. Not only for the club that now need to find a new manager, and it's almost impossible to do that with the amount of media speculation going around. It's impossible to do that silently. But also for the fans, because now he's given us the opportunity to appreciate him and his football and the team that he's built, and give the honesty, which he's always been honest, and he's always spoken his mind, and I think we need to appreciate that rather than speculate about whether or not this proposed fly on the wall documentary might be the reason that he's leaving. The reason that the fly on the wall documentary headlines have even popped up over the last couple of weeks is because the owners have known that he's leaving. Klopp is against having cameras in the dressing room. And therefore, now that he's leaving, it does, open up an opportunity for a documentary to be made perhaps next season. And that type of Amazon all or nothing documentary with a new manager trying to somehow rebuild a dynasty, take over from a manager like Jurgen Klopp, that would be a hell of a documentary. And it may only just be beaten by the fairy tale that might just happen at the end of this season. And I just don't think it's right to question his intentions or the real reason. We have the real reason. So I'm going to leave this video on a positive note, on an exciting note, and say that there is one player in this squad that was in the team when Klopp arrived and will be in the team when Klopp leaves. One player. And that player is Joe Gomez. And he has yet to score a professional goal. Therefore, it is written in the stars, and it is a serious possibility that Joe Gomez scores a vital, important goal that may just send Klopp home with another trophy. Maybe with another 2, 3, dare I say 4 trophies. We have to dream. And I cannot wait to live the rest of this season. And we will get to the sadness later down the line. But right now, there's a Premier League to win. And an FA Cup. And a League Cup. And a Europa League. We're coming for it all. Jurgen Norbert Klopp.